Hi, I'm Kyle from The Distilled Man. Up next, I'm going to share 10 critical tips you need to know to successfully negotiate a pay raise at work. So stick around. Here's the deal. Everybody wants to be paid more money for what they do. Everybody wants to feel valued at work. Yet so many people approach asking for more money the wrong way. Most of the time, it's because the discussion is long overdue. They're overworked, they feel underpaid, they feel underappreciated in general. And since their motivation is coming from the wrong place, usually it ends very badly. Either they won't get the raise, or even worse, they get the raise, but their boss and their company resent them for forcing their hands. But it doesn't have to be that way. If done well, asking your employer for money can actually be a very positive experience. You're essentially giving them an opportunity to keep you happy. Just like with personal relationships, if you can learn to communicate your needs in a non-threatening way, you will reap the rewards. So up next, I'm going to share 10 critical tips you can use to help improve that conversation of asking for more money. Now, these are the same strategies that I used multiple times to get significant raises back when I worked in advertising. Number one, deserve the raise. This is the hardest part, and that's why I wanted to cover it first. You might be kind of laughing to yourself, but there's really no shortcut here. So that means that, not only have you been busting your butt and working a lot, but you've actually been creating value for your company and for your customers, whoever they may be. Deep down, you probably know whether or not that's true. But sometimes when you're working all the time and you feel like you're just slogging through crap every single day, it's easy to get a distorted view and not be objective about it. Of course I deserve a raise. I'm killing myself every day for this job. Step back and look at it objectively. Are you really due for a bump? Number two, do your research. What are other people making? You can usually find salary surveys for your industry in journals and online. You can also find salary ranges on other job postings. What are other companies offering for comparable positions? That's obviously highly relevant because if your boss knows that if every single job posting you see for a job like yours is $10,000 more than you're making, then it's not long before you're going to head for greener pastures. Number three, be specific about your ask. Just going in with the message of, I need more money, somehow makes the request seem more aspirational. Makes it a little easier for your boss to just brush aside. It's way better to ask for a specific amount. Can I please get a $10,000 raise? I'd really like to be making X. And that makes the ask that much more real and immediate. By providing a specific amount, it's also easier to tie it to a justification. You could say something like, boss, I've done my research and I found that market comp for people in my position with about 5 to 7 years of experience are making about X. So if there's any way you can get me up to that level, I'd really appreciate it. Number four, be unemotional about your argument. Build a business case. Paint a positive vision for why giving you a raise is going to be good for the company. Allow your boss and the company to feel actually good about giving you the money rather than feeling like you pried it from their wallets. Number five, avoid playing the martyr card. The last thing your boss wants to hear is how beaten down you are and how overworked you are and how, you really deserve more money because of how hard your life is. When you use the martyr angle, you're basically putting a negative halo around the entire conversation. First of all, it makes you look bad because it shows that you can't communicate your needs like an adult. You've basically waited until you've reached the breaking point before you brought this to their attention. It also makes your employer feel bad because it's an implicit indictment of their management abilities. You're basically saying that, maybe they made a mistake or they're not good at managing your workflow, or maybe they made a mistake about how much money you should be making. Number six, ask, don't threaten. When you're hanging out with your coworkers or your friends, it's easy to fantasize about threatening to quit to get what you want. Actually, using this approach is probably one of the douchiest things you can do. Even if you know that you have legitimate leverage because you're a critical part of the team, you should really avoid utilizing it in that way. Dude, I'm going to walk into Johnson's office and bang my fist on the desk and tell him if I don't get a 20% bump, I'm gone. Yeah, that'll go well. Threatening to quit might work, but it puts a bad taste in your boss's mouth. They'll definitely resent you for it. But more importantly, you don't need to threaten to quit because the threat is implicit. When you ask nicely for what you want, your employer knows in the back of their heads that they can only let you down so many more times before you decide to reconsider your options. Number 7, anticipate objections. Even if your boss agrees wholeheartedly that you deserve a raise, they're still going to challenge you a little bit on the reasons why, because they're going to have to justify it to other people in the company anyway. Also, I mean, if a conversation was going to cost you $10,000, you'd probably milk it a little bit too. Be prepared for the counter arguments your boss is going to throw your way. Most likely, you'll be able to identify them ahead of time, and you'll be able to prepare a rebuttal for each one, and that way you can diffuse each point as it comes up in the actual conversation. Number 8, be prepared to get creative about compensation. Maybe your company won't give you a $10,000 raise, but maybe they'll give you every Friday off, or they'll give you some extra vacation, or maybe they'll let you telecommute a couple days a week, or give you a car allowance. Or, I even had a company offer me travel vouchers back when I worked in advertising. I think there's really no limit in terms of creative ways to be compensated. Thinking like this can be a great solution, especially if the only reason they can't give you a monetary bump is because they don't have the cash. Or if you must have cold hard cash, another creative approach is to propose something that's performance-based, based on either your performance or your team's performance. And that way, if you can show that the company's actually getting more money as a result of this, then they'll have the money to be able to pay you the more money that you want.